In this video, I'm going to cover the areas in Vegas that have the most hookers. Now, this is for informational purposes, of course, but I do know there's a lot of guys that are pretty curious about this, so hopefully this helps. Okay, so at first, we kind of got to talk about the two main parts of Las Vegas, at least when it comes to trying to find prostitutes. Vegas is actually two main areas. There's the Las Vegas Strip, which is probably what most people envision when they think of Las Vegas. Then the next big location is kind of known as downtown, or it's also called Fremont Street. That used to be called kind of the old Vegas because that's where the city originally started and that's where the first casinos were. But now it's kind of more of a street party kind of scene. This distinction is important because the hookers tend to switch between the strip and downtown. They go back and forth because of how the casino security treats them. When the hookers start to become too common in one area, the casino security starts to crack down and kick them out. Then the hookers move to the other location until it happens all over. I know that's kind of a bit of a long explanation, but it's important to answer. If you want to find the highest concentration of hookers in the most easily accessible area, then Fremont Street is your choice. Now, I'm not saying they have the best hookers, but they have the most who are just walking around and very easy to spot. Because Fremont Street is only for walking, there's no cars are allowed. You can easily hop from casino to casino within just a few minutes. On the Las Vegas Strip, it can take you almost a half hour to get from one casino to another. Um, that's important because it means that hookers on Fremont Street will stop into a casino, take a look around, and then just walk out and move on to the next one. The result of that is that not only are there a lot of hookers inside the actual casino, but they're also walking around like all over the place because they're kind of going back and forth from casino to casino. This is most obvious when it's obviously pretty nice outside. And in the summertime, you'll see countless hookers walking back and forth on Fremont Street. But as I said earlier, this doesn't mean that Fremont has the best escorts. It's just where there's the most in the most concentrated area, and they're also the most easy to spot. Next, we're going to talk about the Las Vegas Strip, which still has plenty of its own hookers. The only thing is they're just a little harder to find. As I said earlier, because it takes a lot longer to get from casino to casino on the Las Vegas Strip, you sort of have to plant yourself at one and then just hope that an escort you like happens to be in that same casino. Um, as far as which casinos are best, overall, I would say the Wynn generally has the higher end escorts that you can find here in town, at least among the ones that walk the casino. Now, of course, they usually do charge a lot more there. So the average price here in town, you're gonna be looking at around 300 to 500 an hour. The girls that work at the Win, when you first start to talk to them, they'll probably try to start at around 1,000. However, they will sometimes haggle, a bit, but not a lot. Another popular place for somewhat higher end prostitute is the Venetian. I can usually take a seat at the bar there, and probably within less than 10 minutes, a pretty good looking escort will come down and sit next to me. Now, the main bar at the new Fontainebleau has, for some reason, become a huge magnet for prostitutes. I think it's because it's new and it's been kind of slow there that the management hopes that if they just pack the place with a ton of prostitutes that it'll, that it may attract a lot of customers or they may not want to kick them out because I've actually been there a few times and the only people at the main bar there were prostitutes. So, if they kick them all out, actually, though, the place would totally look empty. So, like I said, I don't know, but for some reason there's a lot there. Now here's the thing: if you are on the strip, don't make this mistake. And that is that you kind of usually just pick the first girl that comes up and talks to you. And it's because you have to choose from just the escorts who happen to be at the same casino as you end up making a bad choice. And when you make a bad choice in this town and it has to do with a hooker, it probably means you're going to get scammed or robbed. And also, don't think that just because you found a high priced one or one that's extremely hot, that means that there's less of a chance that you'll get scammed or robbed. The ugly ones scam just as much as the hot ones. So don't just assume because you're in a nicer casino that there's less of a chance that you'll get scammed. But, it's kind of just like I said, if you want the most variety of prostitutes, not necessarily the best, but you can pick from the most in the shortest amount of time, then you're probably going to want to hit Fremont Street. Anyways, I hope that helps you guys. If that's what you're looking for. And also make sure to check out my site. It's truevegaslife.com. I go into a lot more detail there because I can't really talk about that stuff, here on YouTube. So anyways, make sure you check that out and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.